What is going on, everybody? We are back here for our second day of the semifinals here at the Nemesis Gaming League, and we have a lot of spicy action soon to come your way here. We'll be kicking things off with Motion taking on Bishops, as we are going to find out if we have the third 7 seed to make it to the grand finals. I'm Rocker Man here, joined by the one and only Cooking Bagels. Bagels, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
I'm just glad to have a day off, honestly. But yeah, I'm doing all right. Ready for some Challenger League action here. Last time we saw Motion, they again were showing off the mechanics, but again they looking a little suspect as well. Same thing with the Bishops, and I think whoever makes it out of this is going to have a tough time with the Raptors, but I do think they could take it.
Yeah, definitely. The Raptors looked very solid, sweeping Ascension on Monday, and yeah, this one could be interesting. Yeah, Motion taking down the Race in their first round matchup, and then Bishops a little bit of an interesting way to advance. They were tied 2-2 with Flame, but then Flame could not continue the match, so Bishops advanced on that technicality there. So, but hey, you never know what can happen here. On Bishops, they were up 2-0 in that series at one point, so they're a solid team. Definitely got to look out for them, but we will have to see. So Bagels, we're probably gonna get things going right away here. We got them in the lobby, so let me get a prediction from you as we get these guys joined up and ready to
go. I want the Bishops to win, but realistically, I think Motion will probably take it. It could go to Game 7, but I'll say Motion in 6.
All right, he's going Motion in 6. We'll have to find out as we're getting things underway. I know the Discord and Twitch chat were making their prediction. Discord says 38-17 in favor of the Bishops. And if I was a betting man, I would agree with them here. I think the Bishops have a good shot to win this one. They're a solid team, and they are starting off scoring. Mr. X Climax is going to start the scoring out for the Bishops.
Yeah, just a big whiff out of graveyard/gravy right there on the goal line. Not much else you can say on that, just a big whiff, and Climax is going to capitalize.
And that is a huge start there for the Bishops, as they are looking to pull off the upset here as the 7 seed. They made their way through the play-in tournament. Got to this point. Definitely a team to be reckoned with as they start off strong. And as we look at these two teams, we got Motion there in the blue with Hayden, Smegalodon, and what is that name? Gravy Angel Smiley Face. Apparently they're called Graveyard, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. And then for Mr. Climax and Kratos on the Bishops, what can you tell me about these guys, Bagels? Anyone in particular you're looking out for on each team?
Definitely Hayden on the side of Motion, and pretty much anybody on this Bishops roster can pop off, but I feel like it's got to be Hayden and Kratos, the guys to carry these two rosters. Both have a good amount of mechanics and playmaking ability, and I feel like it comes down to them. And Gravy on Motion as well has got a lot of mechanics, and I think it just comes down to Smegalodon being the third man, which is going to overcommit right here. Granted, not the most readable play.
And that one, it looked like it was a wide open net for Motion as the Bishops had overcommitted, but the pass errored out in the midfield, and Fort just slams it down the pitch. A huge mistake and a huge swing. That's a 2-goal swing right there in one play.
Yeah, and you just got to be careful with those infield passes sometimes, because that is exactly what happens as a huge save from Fort. Will keep Motion scoreless for now as Smegalodon up for that one, but not enough boost to get the job done. And yeah, you just got to be careful on those kinds of plays, because the quick counterattacks can come out even in Challenger League. And big 2-0 lead here for Motion, who is not looking good in this game 1.
Yeah, not quite yet. Still 2 minutes in, maybe trying to regain their footing after taking a little break since their last match, playing last week. But they have to try to regain here. This one's popped up high. Graveyard and Hayden combined. It looks like Hayden is going to get credit, and Motion is on the board here in our first game of this Best of 7.
Yeah, Climax had just a tiny bit of an overcommit. He couldn't figure out which player to read because both of them were up. And a little bit of a lucky play coming out from Motion, but they will take that after those first 2 mistakes. losing the kickoff here. Now opportunity for Climax, but a slow roller will get that one straight back into the hands of Motion. But yeah, I mean, even on that play, hold on a second. There we go. That's the motion I want to be seeing. Going for the flip reset, just didn't quite get it done. They just got to be able to set themselves up on these solo plays, but just looking at it so far, Graveyard and Smegalodon not able to get involved in the play at all, really, as Hayden, more than almost 5 times as many points as them.
Yeah, Motion needs some sort of spark. Hayden has been that spark all season long for them, leading them to the 3rd seed, the division championship, clutching that up at the end of the season. As I believe they were battling the Drakes towards the end there, and they ended up taking home that 3 seed and giving themselves a good, advantageous position here. So going up against the Bishops, the 7 seed. Now we're down under 2 minutes remaining here in game 1. The Bishops threatening here as his ball's on midfield. A miss comes through and Kratos is going to finish it off there. The Bishops lead back up to 2.
Yeah, missed touch coming out from Gravy. Great hit, Hayden. Don't think he had any boost, and Kratos with the slot on the left side to beat out the final defender right there. Great shooting from him, but again, it just came down to Gravy on the sidewall. Just that ball leaked out a little bit too much into the hands of a Bishop attacker, and that's what spelled the deal for them off that backboard miss, as well as Bishops looking for one more. I think they'll be content with 2 goals. They just got to keep Motion under wraps.
Only got to hold them off for a minute and a half here, but they're trying to put on some pressure. This one down and going to be banged out by Hayden. Only cleared to the corner. As Kratos trying to follow this one out. This ball popped up high in the midfield. Fort has to make a touch, and he does. So he sends it off to the side. Motion trying to get back on the counterattack. Climax with an awkward touch, but it's still going to be cleared away. Send it back up in the middle. Climax with a touch. Going to put it down the pitch. Motion retreating. Here comes Hayden. Taking the sky. Going to find one touch. Looking for another. Trying to dribble it all the way down, but not going to go there. As we're now under a minute remaining here, Bagels. And Motion still have to find 2 more goals.
Trying a little bit of a back pass here, but not enough juice on it to maintain possession. And Bishops there just looking really good. And, you know, I thought for a second Fort was the final defender. No, he was just lurking over there, watching his team do some work. And, yeah, not quite sure why the net was open. But, I mean, Bishops, just an outstanding play from them. 11 shots to Motion's 5. And Hayden has been the ultimate carry here for his team in game 1. But just not enough doing right now is Smegalodon. Oh, my goodness. Double tap almost came out right there. He's only sitting at 38 points right now. Hasn't really gotten involved as well. But Motion with Hayden, 5 saves and 4 shots, 1 goal. Almost 600 points just from one guy. You just need to distribute the work a little bit more. He's making some more clutch touches on defense here, but too little too late, as Bishops will likely win this one with a 3-goal lead, unless, nope, they'll be saved out.
Going to be saved, and Bishop's going to come out here and take game number 1. A solid performance from the underdogs in theory with the seeding. But they are going to be happy to take this win as this ball finally touches the ground. Bishop's taking game number 1. Just a solid performance overall from the Bagels as they come out really strong here, 4-1 victory.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the team. Bishops is the team that I wanted to win. I just was expecting Motion to come out a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more hot. But that being said, Bishops is definitely the more coordinated team overall, rotation-wise. They're definitely able to work with each other a lot better. Whereas Motion, I've seen it in the past and can kind of see it now, is that Smegalodon just was not involved. And sometimes that's just due to misrotation on Motion's part, Gravy and Hayden just not allowing him to get in the play. But I don't even know if that's just what happened in this game, number 1. It just looked like they were slow. And I don't know. But you can't be slow against this Bishops roster because they're going to punish you, as they put up over double-digit shots right there as well.
Yeah, and a tough one there. It seemed like the Bishops just had everything working, and yeah, Smegalodon, don't want to call him out too much, but only 52 points there. And, you know, it's going to be really hard to win games here, Bagels, in the Challenger League, if you don't have everyone contributing. You know, some leagues you can get away with a couple hard carries, but, you know, in a lot of places you need everyone contributing. And, you know, Motion almost had that, but, you know, the Bishops just a little bit more coordinated in the first game. And now heading into game number 2, what do you want to see from Motion in this one to try to battle back and tie the series up?
I need to see some passes and just some small touches out of defense towards each other. Not 3 players on the ball like I'm seeing right now. That is not what you want to see. I just need to see them to work together. But even though Smegalodon wasn't really able to get involved, there were 2 big mistakes that came out from Gravy just in the opening. Oh my goodness, is Hayden looking for the pancake double tap. But Smegalodon not really in position. Puts a shot on, but Hayden is just deciding to lurk right in front of the 2 defenders and not go for a bump and gets the redirect. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, back to what I was gonna say before Hayden almost pulled off that crazy play. It's just that Graveyard made a really bad whiff, and that allowed Bishops to score their first goal. And then again, he got a very sub-quality touch that allowed them to score again. So 2 goals that just should not have gone in for the Bishops. But either way, again, they were there to capitalize on it. And already it looks like in game 2 here, Motion's playing more like a team. That being said, Bishops with a passing play of their own. Double commit forced, but Megalodon able to find the save, and this is what I want to see from this Motion roster so far.
Yeah, Motion, you want to battle back here, and yeah, this is what we want to see from them, and we'll see if it continues as this game 2 progresses. With this ball up in the midfield, an opportunity for Kratos, but can't quite get it through. Megalodon makes the save, and now want a clutch save for Motion as they hold on to their lead. But can they add to it? Only scored 2 goals so far in this series. 1 in game 1, 1 in game 2. So now this one sent off to the side. Climax looking up for it, but can't quite find the touches looking for this one. Shot towards the net. Looking for a bump maybe, but Smegalodon gonna pick up a savior medal here on the defensive end, putting in some work. But Bishops, they are starting to put in some shots, put in some demos even. And the Bishops just have a little bit of a lock on him right now. This one shot towards that. Another save from Smegalodon. He's got 4. And this defense, oh my goodness, it keeps coming. The Bishops are trying to make it through, but the saves just won't stop, Magnus.
Oh, they need a demo, but looks like their offensive barrage is going to have to come to a stop for now. As Motion, they have 1 shot. Bishops have put up 8 shots in about a minute and a half, it seems. And they couldn't get 1 to go through, and Motion saved every single one, and off the counter, they will score on an open net. And they just had to hit one. They had to hit one of those. They had to get a bump, some boost steals, something, because it was not an accuracy issue. It was just, Megalodon was there.
Yeah, Smegalodon was there. He was a defensive wall. As, hey, those ones, Bengals, those are the most demoralizing ones. You get so many shots in a row. You think you're finally going to break through and tie it up. Instead, you come right back down and you can see the goal. That one, you got to be doing a little bit of damage to the mental of the Bishops here in this game, too.
Yeah, Grandmasters know a thing or two about that. Granted, wasn't the match we lost just recently, but we put up 20 shots in a game, didn't score once. So we definitely know how that feels. That being said, Bishops have an opportunity, and they miss twice. The 3rd man, hard committing on that one. Not able to get through the final defender. Passing play once more for Motion. This is what I asked for. The team chemistry on display. The defense standing tall thus far. Great flick from Kratos, and it almost slips in. But again, these Motion defenders are where they need to be here. Have made the adaptations thus far in this important game number 2. Because otherwise, you're going to be going down against a 0-2 in the series against a really tough Bishops roster. That is not where you want to be, and they have showed up here.
Saves just keep coming for the Bishops. Or from the Motion, excuse me, as Bishops continue to put on shots. But they still have yet to break through in game number 2. This ball 15 up in the midfield for it. Off the corner, but that one cut out. And under a defender in the net is open, and the counter attacks are working to perfection. Motion maybe finding their play style and their footing in this game 2.
Yeah, that's just a great pre-flip into the follow-up from Hayden. 3rd man just not expecting that. But, when you have somebody like Hayden who, at least as far as I'm concerned, obviously there's some standout players on Raptors. But from what I've seen out of the Challenger League, he's definitely one of, if not the most mechanical players. You got to be respecting this man when he's on the ball, especially as 3rd man. If you know there's a possibility of another touch that's going to come in, just let him hit it, especially when he's that far off on the defensive side. Only good things can happen if he touches that again, because then he's just going to give the ball away to you if you're the third man. So just keep letting him touch it if he's that far out in the field. And third man just bid on it. And a huge third goal, huge insurance goal for this Motion team as the final minute is coming and going here. And they're getting one more counterattack, one more huge 50 out of Smegalodon. And there's been no lack of involvement from any one of these three players. All three at 500 points, a bunch of saves, a bunch of shots. Really not a bunch of shots. They only have 5 shots. I don't know why I said that. But oh my goodness, Bishops, they got 12 shots. Haven't put in a single one. And let me see. Only one of them has missed. 11 saves from Motion.
That is just insane here. A complete turnaround, and Motion right back in this one as they're sending another one towards the net. But Motion coming up huge in game number 2, going to tie this series up and maybe even shut out the Bishops here. Depends on how the final seconds go here. This game number 2, the ball back in the Bishops' corner. Smegalodon popping up high, looking for one more for the road. A huge miss comes out. Motion not quite ready for 2 defenders to miss. This ball floating up in the air. It will do it for game number 2. Motion pulling the shutout here 4-0 as they win game number 2 and tie this series up in one apiece.
Was a huge performance from Motion in game 2 right there. That is exactly what they needed. Especially that they managed to win this match when Bishops were in control the whole entire time. If not like 80-85% of the time, it felt like the Bishops were in control of the midfield and on the offense, but it was just one little play that got them out of defense. And that's what I was asking for. They need to get small touches out of defense. You don't necessarily need to get the big clears over the attackers. Just get small touches towards each other, and that's what they were doing. That's what Hayden did. He got the little pre-flip underneath the final defender, and it doesn't have to be a big touch. It's just you need to make consistent touches, and Motion was not doing that in game 1, but in game number 2 here they did. And that wasn't really the whole story. It was just Motion and the defense. Just the saves. And I just looked in chat and Bubbly said, you know what? I'm not even worried. They can't repeat that. So we'll have to see if Motion's going to make Bubbly eat his words on the standout defense, if they can do that throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, 12 shots from the Bishops, 11 saves for Motion. I mean, you have to think that'd be hard to repeat, but, you know, I've seen crazier things, Bagels, that have been repeated. And Motion, maybe they found a little bit of a formula here. Maybe they can make these saves, counterattack. Maybe that's just their play styles. Another shot coming towards net. It's going off the post, and it's going to go in. Kratos puts it home. Motion. They are not going to hold the Bishops scoreless in game 3.
I literally thought you were about to crystal ball this save into existence. As you were saying, I think it is repeatable. And I honestly thought when Smegalodon was going for this that he had this save. It was an absolute slot from Kratos. And I thought Smeg had it, but not able to get it, as that was an awkward post bounce. And huge way to start it off for the Bishops after that demoralizing game 2 loss right there. But still, that being said, again, maybe Bubbly might be onto something. I don't know if this Motion defense can be repeatable if you're constantly going last second back to make a save. You know, eventually one of them is going to slip through. And, you know, it didn't happen in 12 shots in game number 2, but in 1 shot in game 3, it has worked out.
Well, I guess that is just the story. You never know what's going to happen in Rocket League. You can switch game to game. You get 12 shots, no goal, 1 shot, 1 goal in the next. It's just a crazy game, and it's one of the reasons we all love it. As now we're into game number 3. The Bishops on top early, looking to bounce back after that tough shutout in game number 2. This ball in the Motion corner. Bishops threatening. Small touch to the corner. Climax in the midfield. But no Bishops ready to follow on that one. This one popped out. Kratos can't connect as this ball's popping up in midfield. Shot opportunity, but they're going to go for the pass. Can't quite make it happen. Here comes Smegalodon to try to keep it in. They're not quite able to convert as Bishops send this ball back in. But a minute and a half gone by. Motion still looking for a counterattack, and you know, I think that's what they're going to try to go for here, Bagels. After it worked so well in that last game, trying to go for the counterattack opportunities. I don't know if you agree with that play style or think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just has to be like that. But, you know, by virtue of just being a Rocket League player, you always want to be on offense. You don't only want to have to be resorting to counterattack plays. But this Bishop's roster is extremely fast, and the defensive rotations are pretty sound. As a double commit comes out, Climax looking for a bump of his own. As Kratos not able to get it through. Let's find the demo. More pass play, but not going to get the job done for now. But yeah, I mean, it could work against this Bishop's team, but I'm already seeing some adaptations from them. They're playing a bit of a slower game. They're not allowing these motion players to beat them on the counters. Granted, got a lot of time left here in game number 3. But Bishops, the offense is slowed down, but I still feel like they're in control for the majority of this game as a huge doink comes out. But again, the defense from Motion able to put it away.
Motion holding on here as a demo comes through. Smegalodon trying to take it down before it cuts it off in the midfield. Looking for a demo on net, but Hayden gonna find a touch off to the side, trying to leave that for a teammate. Climax turning around, Smegalodon diving in. Gonna get it by 2 defenders here. Can he turn in the midfield? Just 1 to beat, trying to get it out. But this ball gonna trickle away from Bishops. Is this one in the midfield? Gravy trying to keep control. Is this one sent back towards the net fort? Gonna make a touch. This ball off the corner, popped up in the midfield. Gravy trying to get to it, but a double commit comes through. And Hayden is forced to retreat as we're now under 2 minutes remaining in this game. A lot slower, maybe not as many shots even, Bagels, in this one. Both these teams kind of having to pick and choose their opportunities.
Yeah, and this is a big swing game. You don't really want to lose this. Granted, you don't want to lose any game, but I always feel like the odd numbers in the series are the most important. Game 1, Game 3, Game 5. Obviously, if you end up making it to 7, that's the decider. But any of these odd number games are huge swing games for me, especially if the series is tied, which they most likely are heading into those games. As a missed shot comes out, and a lot of times can be a little bit more conservative in those matchups, and Bishop's definitely taken a step back here, realizing what the problem was in game number 2. They were just not hitting their shots, and granted, they've only hit 1 out of 5 so far, but still, the presence on the field is here. They're not overcommitting. They're where they need to be, but a huge 50 comes out. Bishops will stop it out. But they're playing well, but, a 1-goal lead is not secure against a player like Hayden who can flip reset at any given moment if he's got space and boost on the ball. So you're going to have to hold on for 30 more seconds against these mechanics in Motion.
Yeah, they are going to have to hold on, but only 30 seconds for them to put a goal in as the Bishops going to clear this one out for it, trying to turn on it. But Gravy able to send it back in off the corner. Kratos on the pop, going to get it by 1, going to get it by 2 as he's taking it down. Going to be bumped off of it, but the seconds taken away from Motion as a huge miss comes out. They have to take it across their own net, and Fort is there waiting. A huge mistake, and then maybe the dagger in game 3.
Yeah, just a big whiff from Smeg, and he's trying to do too much, trying to make up for the mistouch and just bang the ball down to the left, maybe get the corner boost, start a counterattack. But, after that big whiff, nobody was expecting that from the Bishop, so he had a lot of time to work with. Could have dribbled it out, used that time a little bit more effectively. Instead, down the barrel, 2-0 here. Clock has hit 0, and Bishops will come back and will take control of the series once again.
Well, Motion going to be the one shut out here on the opposite side. This time as the Bishops pitch a 2-0 shutout. And good performance, a good bounce back, Bagels, after the last game where they weren't able to get one in the back of the net. They start off early, and then they hold on for the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Motion, again, it seemed like the offensive presence on the field was lacking a little bit, but they did tie the Bishops in shots, 6-6 apiece. Really, not a lot of saves coming out this time, so Motion just, again, I don't know if that defense was repeatable, just like Bubbly was saying, and we saw it. Granted, that first goal was just kind of a weird one. It was just a perfect slot from Kratos, and Smegalodon just could not get there. Perfect shot, perfect placement, and ended up almost going in. Luckily, Kratos was there for the follow-up for the Bishops. But coming into Game 4, I'm expecting a back-and-forth series. I'm expecting Motion to be the ones making the adaptations again, get more involved on these passing plays. But one thing that has been consistent is that Smegalodon is in the net. He is going to be a threat at putting these balls away. Oh my goodness.
Jeez, these guys and their defense Motion they can't stop playing defense. I mean, you said it, it's just a very close goal in the last one, and then, a last second, you got to go type moment. Those are the only 2 that they gave up. obviously those two were the decider, but the defense has been solid for the most part. They're forced to make another save here. So Motion, we're gonna have to lean back on that defense and see if it can carry them here in this game. But wait a minute, there's not an opportunity. Almost found the demo, but Kratos just enough finding the counterattack and catching the Motion defense off guard.
Yeah, and just a big overcommit from Gravy right there as the third man. Trying to do too much. And again, sometimes, especially in the lower leagues, you just let the players bang the ball out to you. Especially on a ball that's careening off the sidewall like that. The defender isn't going to know where the incoming players are coming from. And just wait for the hit to come out. But Gravy, he bid on that one. And Hayden, he almost got the demo to disrupt that shot, but couldn't quite catch up to him. And again, Bishops strike first. Every time they've scored first, again, they've won. So good position for the Bishops to be in.
Great start here for the Bishops yet again as they're looking to get a 3-1 series lead in this series, which would be so crucial for them as they're looking to advance to the grand finals on Saturday night. This ball popped off to the side. Motion trying to clear it out. Not quite able to. This ball sent back in. Kratos on this one, setting up in the midfield. But Hayden back just in time, able to get a touch. This one again off to the side. Motion now, an opportunity here. The net kind of open. I'm losing my voice there as Hayden puts it in the back of the net. 1-1 now.
And Kratos, a ballsy third man commit, and Fort, I think he was looking at the play the whole time, but he still just decided that boost was the better option. And Hayden able to set that up to the top left side perfectly. Able to barely beat out Kratos. Now off the kickoff, looking for the double tap, does find it. The Climax gonna play disruption on that play. And yeah, now tied back up, but off of a big mistake from Bishops, which they haven't really been making that many crucial mistakes, but that was a huge third man commit and kind of an inexcusable boost grab when Fort should have been last back there.
Yeah, tough mistake there as, excuse me, Bishops going to be tied up here by Motion. This ball sent back down towards the net. Fort going to make a touch and send this one down. This ball off the post there, looking for an opportunity, but not quite going to go. This time, Motion again, trying to fire things back as a demo comes out on the wall. Gravy looking to take this one up, hopping it high off the ceiling. Opportunity, but not quite going to go. Kratos looking to take control and find a 50 in the midfield. And a huge bump comes through, but Bishops, they're unable to clear it out. And this ball, pass attempted. Oh, no.
No.
Ill-advised pass comes out, and the Bishops are going to get a goal off of it.
Yeah, especially after a big miss from Climax there. And I don't even think Gravy was trying to pass. I think he was just trying to take to a dribble, but got too heavy of a touch, or no, just too risky of a touch to be going for. You just got to bang that ball out of danger, especially when a team player whiffs. You can guarantee their other teammates are going to try and bail him out immediately. So whoever that was on the Bishops just ended up dunking that ball through and put them back in the lead off of a Motion team that was, again, all in the same spot as a fake comes out from Graveyard. I'm pretty sure he was trying to hit that shot. That fake was not calculated. But Smegalodon with the cleanup.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hit that one on net, and Climax, you know, that one's tough to read. But Smegalodon in the right place at the right time, able to tie things up and keep Motion their hopes alive here of taking this game forward. And a game they really need. You do not want to go down 3-1 in this series. A 2-2 and a 3-1 series. There are two different animals. And here comes a shot. It's going to go just a little bit wide from Smegalodon. And that one could have been the one that got him ahead here. But instead, they're stuck back on defense. This ball pops across the midfield. The net is open. And the counter, Mr. Climax puts it in, picking this Motion defense apart.
That's a pretty solid clear from Gravy, but the problem is that Hayden and Smeg both bid on it, both trying to get the transition out of defense. And, you know, normally I'm not one for hitting it off the sidewall, but if a double commit is forced on the opposite side, you know, if the net is open, might as well get the job done any way you can. Although Hayden looking to have other things to say. Does find the flip. He gets the double off the backboard. Net open, but Kratos able to jump in just the nick of time to save that one through. But again, that is the threat off of the kickoff from Hayden. You give him space, you give him boost, you come up with some great plays, just not quite enough as Bishop's trying to maintain this lead in the final minute once more.
Bishop's looking to take it all the way down. Kratos with the second touch. He puts it in the back of the net, and the Bishops have an insurance goal with 49 seconds remaining.
And again, Motion not the only team with some mechanics, but again, Motion's rotation, this is their weak point, and they're falling apart. Hayden and Graveyard both going for that corner boost. Didn't even get the corner boost as they both realized their error, trying to get back to it, but Fort just already on the air dribble. Going to secure that one on the left side. Huge 2-goal lead, final minute. Net open, but Hayden able to get the touch. Pinox was looking for a pass to Fort, but he was all the way back in 30 seconds. Huge insurance goal, 2-goal lead. And if they win this, they'll be up 3-1 in the series. And surely at this point, Motion would take their timeout, try and recover from this rotational issues that they are having.
Yeah, they may need to here as we're getting down to the final seconds of this one. Motion gonna need 2 goals, really gonna need a miracle here. They're going to bring it back, and as the Bishops keep it in their zone, it is not gonna happen here. Motion goes down. Bishops take a 3-1 series lead as they are gonna win game number 4 here. A solid performance, Bagels, and they are 1 win away from advancing to Saturday night.
Yeah, this is huge from them. Bishops really not playing a single game bad here. The one game they lost, Motion's defense was just peaking and they couldn't sneak one through. So Bishop's playing extremely consistent here, really only coming up with one big mistake here in this game, which they still ended up winning, which was the overcommit from Kratos, and Fort was off grab and boost. And, if that's the only mistake they make all series, the only really big mistake, this is a great spot to be in if you're Bishops trying to go up against a really tough matchup in Raptors, assuming they're able to close out this series here. But yeah, Motion opting not to take the timeout thus far. So they must feel confident in their game plan at the moment. It's just not getting the job done. They have to work on their communication and their spacing, because really that's the only issue that's plaguing them. They're putting shots on, not a large amount of shots, but they're putting a consistent 6+ shots on a game, so they're not really getting shut out from the offense completely. It's just the defensive side of things, and the overcommits as third man. And if they can fix that, they should be able to come back in the series. But that being said, Bishops, they've just been so consistent the whole series, and that's a tall task to ask of them.
Yeah, it's very odd that they don't opt to use their tactical timeout. I mean, you thought for sure you go down by 2 games in this series, Bagels, you're 1 win away from going home, and I don't know. It's an odd choice not to use it. Maybe these teams just trying to ride the momentum from the earlier games. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm not a fan of taking the timeout. We did end up taking it in our series just to try anything, something, after losing however many overtimes we lost, as a huge play comes out from the Bishops, and they will strike first once again off of the transition. And Gravy on the attack, but just couldn't get it through. And Hayden, he was there, but that's just a tough shot to defend.
A little bit of feels backflip right there as that one finds the back of the net. And Motion now on their last life here in game 5. They find themselves down early, not where you want to be here in this one with the season on the line. But they're going to have to make do here and try to battle back. This ball into the corner, going to be pinched up by Fort. Sent all the way back into the Motion corner as Hayden taking to this ball, looking to stay up with it. Going to send it down, trying to find a teammate, but Bishop's able to cut it off as another pass comes through, but again, just cut off by a teammate. Not quite coordinated the way they want to be. The huge missed touch comes through, but not going to go on target. As Motion able to get away with that one, but really Bagels, we need to see some offense from them as they're trying here. A shot going towards the net, but not quite going to get on target. And, we really need to see it quickly here. You can't let Bishops, keeping their sustained pressure if Motion is going to want to come back. Oh my goodness! Fort with the most power he's ever got in his life from the sidewall.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I say it. Sometimes you just know when a player is going to hit a shot, and I knew right here that he was going to put this one with expert marksmanship. Not necessarily into the top right bar down ski, but I had a feeling that ball was going in, and it did. Huge insurance goal for the Bishops, because yes, like you're saying, that once the Bishops start to get this midfield lockdown, they do not relinquish control of it. Motion actually for once out shooting Bishops thus far, and a huge play here as this one will go in off of the double commit. Mistouch off of the sidewall, but still, I mean, this is Motion. They need to be suffocating these Bishops players and forcing these double commits, which, yeah, Fort said that's what panic looks like. That is exactly what panic looks like, and Motion need to continue to make these players panic on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's how they've gotten some goals. They've made the Bishops panic, and that is the strategy. The Bishops, they are a team that can be prone to that panic. Me playing against them, I've seen their panic before. As we got them. Oh wait a minute! This ball going towards the open net. We could be saved away, and having to reverse sweep them in the regular season. We knew how to enforce a little bit of panic in them, and that's when Bishops can find themselves in trouble. So Motion again to try to find something. Here comes Gravy looking for the flip reset, going under. Oh my goodness, what a play! The fake, the flip reset, and the goal to tie this game 5 up.
Huge play from Graveyard to get his team back into it. But again, this is what I'm talking about. When the play is happening that far out in the midfield, you almost just want to let him hit the ball, because that ball was just going to go into the dirt no matter what. He had to put that ball under because that was the only spot he could put it. So Climax biting a little bit early on the pre-jump, but still, when players like Gravy and Hayden are in the air, you got to respect the mechanics, and perhaps the Bishops respecting them a little bit too much, but still trying to get back on the offense with their own infield passes that have been working so well here in this series. Now we got a tie ball game.
All tied up. Motion, their season on the line here. They need to come up huge in Game 5. If they lose, they are out. Their season is over. If the Bishops win, they're heading to the grand finals on Saturday night to take on the Raptors. Climax out in the midfield. This ball pops up. Fort sending it towards the net. Motion trying to make the touch. This ball pops out in the midfield, but not quite going to be able to put on target. As another 50 comes through. Motion, a little bit of space here. A shot going towards the net, but the save comes through from Kratos. He picks up the savior medal. So under 2 minutes remaining here in Game 5. Motion looking for something. This ball pops right to Fort, right around the defender. He puts it in.
And I think they were trying for a defensive bump too. Gravy, he got in the way, but Fort was just barreling his way through. Either way, I mean, really the bump was negligible, and Smegalodon thought the bump was going to be a lot more powerful, and really just an unfortunate goal to give up if you're Motion, but you can't give up hope. You got a minute and a half here to mount a comeback. They've looked pretty dangerous here in this game number 5. They got to get another counterattack going. They got to get some more bumps. They've been demoing a lot more as of late. They need to remove these Bishops defenders who have gotten 7 saves here in game number 5. There's one more counter from the Bishop side this time around, as a whiff on the defense comes out, and Bishops will be up by 2.
Yeah, that one, you thought for sure it was going to be touched here, an opportunity, but just looks like a little misinput on that one, and a tough break there for Motion is now, and not only they have to find 1 goal, but they have to find 2 bagels, and with a minute 15 against this Bishop squad, it is going to be a tough one to come through.
Yeah, they got to go to work, and they got to go to work right now. Mistouch from Fort, going to allow Hayden a free shot, but not enough spice on it, but actually the own goal comes through. Nerves starting to get to both these two teams, as a bit of a lackluster shot will go through.
Yeah, Fort probably shouldn't even jump for that one. Had teammates back in net that could have made the save, but instead Fort kind of set in the back of the net, and well, now we're back to a 1-goal game. And Motion with 60 seconds. It's such a different ball game, Bagels. Everybody knows in Rocket League here that, now they've got all the time in the world to work with. A minute is an eternity, especially with that ball being able to stay up above the ground with 0 seconds left. So a lot of opportunities still possibly to come from Motion, but they still know that they are down, and if they don't score a goal, their season is over. Mr. Climax now send this one up towards the net. A save comes through for Smegalodon. Emotion. They are starved right now. No boost on the board. It's just Hayden with some boost. Smegalodon gonna pick some up, but they have to get it going here. They gotta get down the pitch. Gravy, no boost, gonna race back, trying to grab that canister there. But the time really ticking away. This ball sent up. Maybe one more counterattack for him. As Climax sends it in the corner. Motion trying to get it through, but a big clear comes through from Kratos. Could that do it? Motion gonna need some sort of miracle. They're all on the left side of the field here, trying to keep this ball up. The time ticking away. They pop it up. Hayden keeping it to the sky. Bishops both committing, but they send it down, and they are gonna win this series and send themselves to the grand finals on Saturday night.
Yeah, and just a standout performance from the Bishops here, capitalizing off of the motion mistakes on the rotation that were being made. Really, motion playing a relatively clean game 2 out of 4 of the games they lost, but in 2 of those games, the rotation did not look clean at all. And when you start to give games away like that, that's when you get into trouble. And they found some trouble here against a surging Bishops roster who consistently was playing the same just good defense, good offense every single game. They didn't quite match that 12-shot game they found in game number 2, but honestly, for their sake, I'm kind of glad they didn't match it because that was the one game they lost. But there were moments of panic, especially in this game, the triple commit and the double commit, which led to 2 out of the 3 goals for motion there. So definitely some things to work on heading into the grand finals, but overall, just a huge performance from them. Motion, they had signs of brilliance. We saw the solo plays from Gravy and Hayden, the insane defense from Smegalodon, but it was just not enough to take down this Bishops roster on this night.
It was not quite enough, and congratulations to the Bishops as Bagels. That is a little bit insane there. That is a little bit insane as we have our top 3 leagues: Titan, Rival, Challenger, 7 seeds. The 7 seeds have all made it in. We got Pinnacle, we got Distortion, we now have Bishops. That is 3 7 seeds making it to the grand finals, which is, unheard of. I mean, I think there's only been like 1 or 2 7 seeds or lower that have made it to the grand finals before. I think Nebula way back in season 2, and I can't even remember another one that was lower. And now we have 3 of them. I mean, that's just insane to see the Bishops making that kind of upset run all the way to the grand finals.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened in the round 1 matchup. Flame was looking like they're starting to come back, but we'll never know. Either way, I thought Motion was going to be a really tough matchup for whoever came out of that Flame Bishop series, but obviously I was a little bit mistaken as Motion kind of dropping the ball here, and Bishops are looking to take this momentum all the way to the grand finals. And I think they have a chance to beat the Raptors team. Obviously, Raptors gonna be the favorite in that matchup, but I think Bishops, if they're playing the way they did today, they minimize the double commits and the one-off triple commit there that led into the own goal. I think they could easily have a chance at finally taking home a championship for the Chess Hall org.
Yeah, they're still looking for one, but the Bishops they'll give Bubbly and company an opportunity here, and really that's all you can ask for when it comes down to this at the end of the season here. So Bishops, they are going to be going all the way to the grand finals, but can they complete it? I don't know. Who knows? Raptors are going to be a tough test for sure, but they make it there, and that's all you just need a chance, Bagels. If you give yourselves a chance there, you make it to the big dance. All it takes is 4 wins now. That's all they need to possibly become the champions. So I know they're going to be ready to go for that one. But congratulations to Bishops. Congratulations to Motion on a great season. But Bishops are moving on to the grand finals versus Raptors Saturday night. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern for our grand finals Saturday. Should be a lot of fun on that day. But that is going to wrap it up for this matchup. Up next, we have a Novice League showdown. We have Frost. We have Whelps. Frost is looking for their 3rd straight grand finals appearance in the Novice League, which is absurd there. And Whelps looking for their first, trying to bring some magic for that Dragon Energy org. We'll see if they can do it. We're going to take a little bit of a short break here, but then when we come back, we have Frost, we have Whelps going at it. Who will be the first team in the Novice League grand finals? Time will tell, so make sure you guys stick around, and we will see you guys in a couple minutes.